Getting a belt in BJJ can be really hard, but what if I told you that this is actually a double-edged sword? In a martial art with only 5 belts, students spend several years at each belt, where they're often pushed to compete several times. So the time and experience it takes to level up can really start to overwhelm a lot of students. But how can we combat this? I've got another video for you guys, and this one's about people not feeling like they deserve their new belts, specifically blue belts, but this can also happen for purple, brown, and black belts as well. We don't always feel like we deserve our new belt. We're just gonna go over some things you guys can do to get over that hurdle. So perfectionism. Students may have an unrealistic expectation of themselves and feel that they are not good enough or haven't achieved enough to warrant promotion. This can stem from a fear of failure or a belief that they need to be perfect in their technique before moving up to the next rank. So perfectionism, that's a big one. I think a lot of people, especially if you're getting close to your promotions, you might feel like you need to be perfect. You need to be at the same level as the guys that are at that next belt level. But you got to understand that the people at the next belt level have experience. They have more time to get used to that level and to kind of grow into that level. Almost like a hermit crab, where they're not going to go into a shell that's too small. They're going to go, or one that's the same size, they're going to go to one that's slightly bigger that they can grow into. That's what instructors want that next belt to represent, is that you have more room to grow, more room to experience maybe new submissions, new rule sets, new techniques, new approaches. But you don't need to be perfect. No one in jiu-jitsu is perfect. Even the best guys in the world like Roger Gracie or Marcelo Garcia, those guys weren't perfect. They were close to perfect, you know, super close, probably as close as humanly possible. But your journey in jiu-jitsu is never going to be over. You're always going to be progressing. So, you know, if you're a little bit slower than you would like, or you're a little bit behind in your development, that's okay. As long as you get more time to improve. Say you don't feel ready for your blue belt, that's all right. Once you get your blue belt, then maybe you take more time at blue belt than you did at white belt, or maybe you'll take more time at the next belt. Don't try to rush that development, guys. Don't try to be perfect. Just be good. Just be good enough. And I guess a lot of that perfectionism, I hope that's a word, comes from you comparing yourself to others. You know, you might be comparing yourself to some kids that are been training since they were little, or you might be comparing yourself to maybe a D1 wrestler that just you know, he's been wrestling forever, or God knows who. Just focus on your own development. Yeah, you don't need to be perfect. Jiu-jitsu is not about perfection, it's about effectiveness. Comparing themselves to others. Students may compare themselves to others in their gym or online, which can lead to feelings of inadequacy and unworthiness. It's important to remember that everyone progresses at their own pace and that the comparison is not helpful. Yeah, if you're comparing yourself to people online, you know, you might be watching some phenoms, or, you know, people, you don't know what their background is. They maybe did gymnastics, they maybe did wrestling since they were a kid. They maybe be a powerlifter and they're super strong, so that gives them an advantage. You know, millions of other details we don't know behind the scenes. So just focus on yourself. You know, life's short. You don't have time to be worrying about everybody else. Just focus on your own training. Make sure you do what you need to do. Lack of confidence. Some students may lack confidence in their abilities and feel that they are not ready for the next rank. This can stem from a fear of not being able to live up to the expectations of the new rank, or not feeling like they have fully mastered the techniques at their current rank. So this one, yeah, you can have lack of confidence. Confidence is going to wax and wane, guys. You're not always going to be super confident. There's going to be times where you feel like revved up, you're doing amazing, you're tapping people. And then there's going to be times where you're not doing well, you're getting tapped, you're feeling sluggish. So a lot of that is stuff you're going to have to take care of internally. So we talked about not comparing yourself to others, and then you also need to have realistic expectations for yourself. So if you know you can only train twice a week, you're probably not going to make as much progress as students training 3, 4, 5 times a week or twice a day. Try to keep that in mind. Have realistic expectations for yourself. That goes also to having realistic expectations on the next rank. So if you know you're a hobbyist, it's okay to be a hobbyist. You don't have to win world championships. You don't need to be Gordon Ryan or Craig Jones. You don't need to be training at B Team or New Wave. You can do okay where you're at. And if you feel like you haven't mastered your technique, that's a good sign for you to focus more on your study, on your practice. So really delve into your techniques. It doesn't matter what belt level you are, you can always be more technical. You can always put more time and effort and energy into studying how to become better. I said earlier, you're never going to be perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. And that also goes into mastering the techniques. We're never going to master those techniques, but we can always improve slowly but surely, and just try to make some small improvements, you know, especially on those basic techniques that you guys like to avoid. Just try to get those basics down. And even if you haven't mastered them by blue belt, maybe by the time you're purple belt, you have a deeper insight into those basics. But always had that as a goal in mind. Always try to have good technique. Always try to work on your technique. That's something that I take with me every day I go to class. Imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is the feeling of not belonging or feeling like a fraud, even if you have achieved a certain level of success. Students may feel like they don't deserve to be promoted and that they are not as skilled as others who have been promoted to the same rank. Yeah, imposter syndrome, this is natural, especially when you're reaching that new rank, to feel like you don't deserve that rank, but you have to have faith in your instructor. If your instructor decided to promote you, have faith that you are ready for that belt level. So that one, you got to believe a little bit in your instructor, have faith in them, that they saw something in you that was ready for the next level. Even if you feel like you don't deserve it, just take time to grow into that next belt, grow into that next rank. And of course, don't compare yourself to others. You're gonna do things at your own pace. I think of it like cooking, sometimes, or baking. You can't rush the process. If you're baking a cake, I can't just rush the process and hope that cake's gonna come out well. But if I take the time, the proper amount of time, and make sure all the ingredients are all in there, everything's in that mix, and then when I make the cake, it's gonna come out really well. But if you rush that process, you rush the cake, it's not gonna come out well. Same thing with your jiu-jitsu. Take the time, make sure you have the proper ingredients, the proper foundation, and let it cook. High standards from instructors. Instructors may have high standards for students, which can be a good thing as it pushes students to improve. However, if a student feels like they haven't met those standards, they may feel unworthy of promotion. So I've been guilty of this. I know me and some of my friends, we have super high standards, so we don't promote very often. But when you have an instructor with high standards, within reason, you know that once you get promoted, that you earned that promotion. You're not gonna feel like, oh, I don't deserve this. Oh, I didn't work for this. You like, I'm ready for this. This is mine. And it feels good to achieve. If you know something's hard and you achieve it, you feel really great. Say you reach your blue belt, reach your purple belt, brown belt, even black belt, you feel like you achieved something when you had to really work for it. Versus if you paid for your belts or it came really quickly, yeah, you're not going to appreciate the hard work that goes into the ranks as much. But this doesn't mean that instructors can just hold back everybody forever, however they want, and use belts to manipulate students. But I believe that instructors should have a high standard for their students. Like I said earlier, if you believe in your instructor, if they're not ready to promote you, don't worry about the promotion. Focus on the skill development, because whatever the color of the fabric of the belt you're wearing, it's just a belt. It's just a material item, but the skills you have, that's the most important thing, guys. I don't care about these belts. I want you guys to have the skill, develop the skill. So overall, it's important to remember that feeling unworthy of promotion is a common experience in BJJ and many other martial arts. It's important to focus on your own journey and progress at your own pace without comparing yourself to others or expecting perfection. With time and dedication, you will progress and achieve the next rank. So as with everything, if you work hard, you put in your time, your blood, your sweat, your tears, you devote yourself to learning the technique and being able to execute that technique, you're gonna do well. You will get promoted. There will be some rare instances where instructors will hold you for promotion and then that gets a little iffy. That'll be for another topic. But if you keep working on your path and you're training deliberately and effectively, you're gonna get promoted. And it's not something you should want to rush. For people that want to rush through the belts, don't rush it. Enjoy the process. And if you have gotten promoted recently or you got promoted a while ago, but you feel like you don't deserve your belt, it's your belt. You earned it. It's yours. It's yours. Don't feel bad. It's yours. That's all I can say. It's yours. Enjoy it. When you first started, you're probably light years ahead of where you were back then. So don't compare yourself on the day by day or tournament by tournament, but look over like a longer period of time and you're going to see that you have progressed and you deserve your belt. If you guys like this video and you want to see more videos like this, make sure to click on this other video right here, guys. Until then, until next time, peace out. Peace, peace, peace.